What's up, guys? Welcome back to Course Creator Handbook. I'm your host Amit, and today we are going to be looking at how to host a WordPress website for $26.49 for 1 year. And that includes getting a domain name, getting a hosting service, and also installing it on your WordPress. All of this for under $30 for 1 year. So let's get started. Now, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you are my follower, I want to start off by apologizing for not loading more videos on a timely manner. I'm going to try to do that in 2019 as much as I can and not let life get in my way. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have noticed I am part of the Teachable Facebook group and also Thinkific, and although these platforms are great at creating and selling your courses, they don't have the functionality that you might necessarily want in order to create your landing page, your website, somewhere you can collect leads and then start selling to those people. And a lot of people like WordPress. I have my own website on WordPress which connects to my Teachable school, so I can kind of control what I want to show my visitors before I send them over to Teachable. So a lot of customization options. The first thing I want to clear is there are two WordPresses. One is wordpress.com, and that is not what we are talking about. Do not build your website on wordpress.com. There is obviously a source of confusion between wordpress.com and WordPress in general, which is actually on wordpress.org. So if I open a new tab here, new tab, and go to wordpress.org, this is what I'm talking about. And wordpress.org is a content management system, a CMS, that allows you to install themes, install WordPress, install plugins, all of that from the back end, and that's what we're going to do today. So what you want to do is to get this deal for $26.49, again less than 30 bucks. You're going to head over to coursecreatorhandbook.com/Namecheap, or you can go directly to namecheap.com if you prefer to do that. If you use my link, I do get a small commission. Again, it's free to you. It's going to be the same cost to you, so do whichever link works for you. So once you're there, this is the page you're going to see. I want you to go to hosting and click on shared hosting. I'm doing this in Firefox because I already have an account with them, and I don't want to use Chrome and confuse them, so I'm going to do this again. You can see there's something already in my cart which totals $26.49. I'm actually going to empty my cart and start over again. So I'm going to delete this and let's go back to the main page. Again, coursecreatorhandbook.com/Namecheap, and you can go to hover over hosting and click on shared hosting. In the beginning, you might want to go with the shared account, and then after that you can move on to your own private account if you wanted to, if you're getting a lot of visitors. Shared is not the best way. Shared is for people who have less than 50,000 visitors to their website, which is, let's be honest, most of us. And you can either use the monthly plan or the annual. You can see the annual plan for the first year is only $15.44, and that includes up to 3 websites, a website builder, and also 20 gigabytes of SSD space, which is basically your server space where your website content is going to live. And you can select between a US data center or a UK one. We're going to go with US, and I'm going to simply say add to cart. Now on this page, you've been given a bunch of options. You can either use a domain name that you already have through Namecheap or through another registrar like a GoDaddy or a Shopify or something, or you can get a free .website. This is not .com, this is .website. So it'll be myteachableschool.website. I don't like other these are called TLDs, top level domains. I mostly only like .com, so I'm going to say purchase a new domain, and that's not that expensive. It's only $8.88. So I'm going to put a domain name in here, bloggingforbenjis.com, and Namecheap will look through the database, see if that domain is available. If so, it gives you the option to pick the number of years. I'm only going to pick 1 year. And once you have selected your number of years, simply click on add new domain to cart. So right now we are at $24.50, but I said it's going to be $26.49. So what's the remaining $2 or $1.99? I'll show you on the next page. Here you want to hit continue. So we already have hosting. This is where kind of like where your website is going to live, right? So think of the domain name as the outside of your house and hosting the inside of your house where all the stuff is. And then lastly, Namecheap provides you free WhoIsGuard, which means that once you register your domain name, you're not going to start receiving emails soliciting WordPress website work. So that's always good to have. And then one last thing I want to do is add my positive SSL here. SSL Secure Socket Layer, which means that instead of HTTP, your website will show HTTPS. It will show the little S sign, which means it's a secure website to do business with, which makes sense even if you're going to move people from your website to Teachable, because Teachable already has a SSL site and you should have that too. So I'm going to hit the little shopping cart plus here. That's going to up my total to $26.49, and I'm going to go click on confirm order. So at this page, you're going to be asked to create an account, and if you already have an account, you can put your username and password. I don't have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and create one. Okay, usually what I do for password is I go to random password generator. You can select how many characters it should be, and I usually just leave all these settings as is. Generate the password, go in here, and then we're gonna paste it and put my details in. I don't want to sign up for the newsletter, and I'm gonna go ahead and create an account. Now the few things that I want to cover here is, let me do this. I'm not a robot. I hate these reCAPTCHAs, boats. Okay. So now, of course, we have to pay for this. I'm going to say I'm not registering on behalf of a company. Put in my billing details. And now we're going to continue on to the payment page. So the goal today is to go over these bullet points here. We're going to buy a domain name and web hosting. Then I'm going to show you how to create your own email account. So your name at bloggingforbenjis.com, and then also how to install WordPress. We're actually going to reverse the order of this. So I'm going to show you how to install WordPress and then create an email account. And to create an email account, we're going to use something called a cPanel. And then within your WordPress, we're going to cover how to install a theme and also how to install a plugin. So let's go back here. I'm going to, this is fine, technical contact, billing contact, who is, okay, perfect. So Namecheap is going to walk you through all these options. Now the last thing I need to do is add my card details. So I have my credit card ready here. Alright, and I don't want to automatically renew my services, which would be my hosting for 1 year and also my domain. Now if you're buying a domain name that you know for sure you're going to keep forever, by all means check these boxes. I'm just going to hit continue. Oops, forgot to put my card expiration date. Rookie mistake. And the CVV number. So as you can see, so far the process has been really straightforward. You have selected a hosting provider and your domain name. In our case, it's both the same. There are times where you might buy a domain name from namecheap.com, but you have your hosting at hostgator.com or GoDaddy, which is completely fine. It's always good to have everything consolidated in one place. And then lastly, I need to approve their terms and conditions and hit pay now. I was too antsy and I just hit the pay now button without checking the box, so I got the little error message, you need to approve our terms and conditions. And at this point, you're going to be likely redirected to what's called your cPanel, or your kind of Namecheap's version of it, where you're going to manage your domain name. You're going to be installing WordPress there. So I'm going to give this a few minutes, let that happen, and then I'll come back and continue this video. Alright, we're back. Here's the message. Thank you for your order. There's a little survey here which is really great. You know, these are the steps you want to keep in mind when someone's registering for your school. What's the user flow? Map it out or whiteboard it. You know, use a free whiteboarding app or just use a good old whiteboard and do it, just so you know what are the steps your users are taking to kind of streamline it. So this rating chart looks like I can't hit next, so I'm just going to X out of it. I don't need to rate them yet. So we are all set. Now I'm going to go up here on the top left corner. You're going to see your domain name, or kind of like your username. You go there and then you click on dashboard, and here is where you're going to manage your domain and your WordPress hosting. So in this dashboard, you can see here's the domain name that we just purchased, and then under it we have the products. So one is the domain name itself, and the other one is the hosting, which is their shared hosting account. It's called Stellar. So I'm going to hover over that hosting and click on manage. Now what we have to do next is, let me open my notes here. We have bought a domain name, so I'm going to cross this off. We've also bought hosting, so that's all set. Now we have to install WordPress. So if I go back into here, here's a little button which says go to cPanel. Now I do see a message here that cPanel not allocated for this hosting, so I'm going to wait till that gets allocated and then come back to the video. Alright guys, while we wait for our cPanel to be ready, the next step I want to show you real quick is how to activate your positive SSL. That's your secure certificate, so your website can show an HTTPS instead of HTTP. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on your domain list from the menu here, and you'll be brought to all your domains, and then you can click on the manage in front of the domain where you want to activate your SSL certificate. And under here you're going to click on products, and this is going to show you all the products you have for that particular domain. We have our hosting and also our SSL, which needs to be activated. So I'm going to click on activate here, and now here it's going to ask you for a CSR. A CSR is a certificate that's generated by your hosting behind the cPanel, and once you generate that, it's like a gobbledygook of letters and numbers. You put it in here, and that's how you're going to activate your SSL. So I wanted to bring you here to kind of show you in case you get to this step before you enter your cPanel, because this can only be obtained from the cPanel. So we're going to hit cancel, go back to manage, and see if our cPanel is ready. I'm going to click on manage, and it should be ready now. It usually takes a couple of minutes for them to provision your account and get your cPanel ready. So yep, it's ready now. It says go to cPanel, so let's jump in there. Looks like I might have to log out and log back in. So let's jump into our cPanel and walk you around there. So you're going to click on go to cPanel. That's going to open up your cPanel, also known as control panel. On the right side here, you're going to see your username, your primary domain, and your login IP. And then at the bottom, there's also a bunch of other information. You can have 0 out of 30 accounts, etc., etc. So first thing we want to do is we are going to do 3 things in the cPanel. We're going to install WordPress on your website. We're going to create an email account, and then we're going to generate a CSR for your positive SSL certificate. So let's start with installing WordPress. How you can do that is you're going to go down here till you see the scripts panel. See how all these different panels are here. Here are the scripts, and what we're going to click on is WordPress as a script. So these are the different CMSs that you can install WordPress on, I believe. I have only always clicked on WordPress, never anything else. I have heard of Joomla, but I only use WordPress. So we're going to click on that. And again, this is going to install on wordpress.org, not wordpress.com. You can see version here. Unfortunately, we cannot use a previous version. WordPress 5.0, also known as Gutenberg, is not my favorite. I prefer WordPress 4.9, but I think there are some other plugins we can use to backdate our WordPress version. For now, you're going to just click install now. And then here, you're going to be asked your website protocol, your website domain name, and also the directory. So this might make sense to do it backwards now, because we want to select HTTPS. But right now we can only use HTTP since we don't have our positive SSL. So you can proceed with HTTP, and I'm going to show you later how you can change that to HTTPS. Your site name and your site description. So my site name is blogging for Benjis, and description is, you can just change this at a later time if you don't know right now what your site description is. I am going to say same thing. And then I usually leave everything else blank. I do put an admin username and password in here. So for username, I'm just going to put my first initial, my last name. For password, I'm going to go back to the password generator, random password generator. And then we will wait till this loads, generate my password, copy that and paste it here. And I also suggest putting this somewhere else for you to remember. So I'm just going to go back to my WordPress here. I mean my little WordPad. I don't feel like blurring this, so I'm just going to make it really small. So if you're watching this video, you cannot copy and paste this. Alright, we're all good. Admin email is admin@bloggingforbenjis.com. That's fine. That just, WordPress is asking for an email to email you when WordPress is installed. We're going to create that email account anyways, so you can leave that as is. It's also asking you if you want to install any of these plugins. I'm going to uncheck this. And it's also giving you options to install themes right here. We're not going to do any themes in this video, so I'm going to leave that unchecked, and I'm just going to click install. At this point, this control panel is installing your website on the WordPress architecture, the WordPress CMS, the content management system. Now you can see it says it's installed. To log in, this is where you're going to go. It's going to be your website.com/wp-admin. It's a good practice to change that, because that's how people hack into your website, is they know their administrative URL, then they can go into it and mess with your site. So it's always good practice to change that admin URL. I'm going to quickly cover that as well. So let's right click on this and open it in a new tab. Usually it's not ready immediately, even though it says this was installed successfully. But what I've noticed with Namecheap is with my other hosting platform, HostGator, it takes about a few minutes for the website to work. So if now I go on this new tab, you'll see here's my WordPress website, and this is your WordPress backend. You did it. You installed WordPress on your hosting. But our work is not done yet. A couple of other things we want to do is, I'm going to go back to my cPanel. I'm going to close this script page here. I'm going to leave my WordPress open on another tab, but I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to create an email account. So I'm going to type, you can type it in this quick search. So I'm going to type email. I'm going to click on email accounts, and this is where you can create as many emails as you want. I think Namecheap gives you 30 with that stellar hosting package. And the email account I want to create here is admin. Now if you had more than one domain here, you will see a drop down of which domain to use. I only have one domain, which is blogging for Benjis, so I'm going to leave it at that. Password, again, I'm going to have the system generate a random password, copy that, paste it here, and then you also have the option to select a mailbox quota or have it unlimited. I'm just going to change this to 1 GB and click create account. Actually, I'm going to leave it at 100 MB because every time you create these mailboxes, it's going to use up space on your hard disk, and also to keep in mind is that might sometimes slow your WordPress site. So just keep that in mind when you are allocating quota to your mailboxes. And I'm going to uncheck this box. I don't need the email client configuration, and I'm going to go create account. Now our email account has been created. So if I go into my email accounts tab here, you will see here's my email account, and you can do a bunch of things here. I'm going to just click on access webmail because we're going to need that for our secure certificate. So once you click on access webmail, it's going to open up in a new tab. And if you're doing this for the first time, the system is going to ask you which one of these 3 email clients to use. So this isn't like your Gmail or Yahoo Mail. The user interface is a little different, but you can always configure Mozilla Thunderbird so that you don't need to use webmail. This is called webmail. So I usually use Roundcube. I set it as default, and then I click on it, and that takes me to my inbox. I know it sounds like there's a bunch of steps here, but if you realize for $26, not only do you have a website, you have a domain name, you also have a professional email account, which is unheard of. So this is what our email inbox looks like. It's currently empty. You can go into settings and play around and change the look and feel. Have at it. The last thing I want to do is go back to cPanel, go click on home, and we're going to generate that CSR certificate so we can get our positive SSL for our website. So for that, I'm going to type in SSL, and you're going to click on this option here which says SSL TLS, and from here we're going to select this one, the certificate signing request CSR, and I'm going to say generate, view, or delete SSL signing requests. Now I want to generate a new request. There's none right now, and you'll put your domain name in here. So just put your domain name like that. Your city, state, do not abbreviate it. Says right there, do not use abbreviations. Choose a country. I'm in US, and company name I usually say the same as your domain name. And rest, if it's not required, I leave it blank, and I click on generate. Now it says the certificate has been generated, and here's that certificate. So we are going to copy this. I'm going to go into my Word doc here and paste it right here. So then we can go back to our hosting, and just to show you how to get back here, you're going to click on your domain list. I hope you're following this along and you're with me. If you have any questions, comments, put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them for you. Click on your domain name here. So I'm going to click on this domain name, and then you're going to manage it. So click on manage. It says there's 15 days to verify your contact information because they want to make sure you're not putting in wrong contact information for your domain and you really are who you say you are. Then I'm going to click on products, and I'm then going to go to activate my positive SSL. Now there's a bunch of different SSL certificates. This is the cheapest one, but it still gives you the HTTP in front, and all you do is paste your CSR here and go click next. Now it's going to ask you which server are you using. It's going to show you your domain name right here, and usually it's because we are using cPanel, we're going to select this option, click next. Now you're going to get something called a DCV, and you just say send that via email, and here's the email, admin@bloggingforbenjis.com. we already created that. Again, it's asking for another email, and click next. By the way, if you like the name Blogging for Benjis, just give me a thumbs up or mention it in the comments below. And then once you're done through these 1 through 5 steps, just hit submit. Now here's what's going to happen. We are going to receive an email which essentially says it's from the DCV committee. I don't know what that even means, but essentially it's a certificate from people who give out certificates for domain names, and it's going to say, hey, click this link to verify that you are the person who requested this domain name and requested this certificate, so we can grant it to you, and that gives you the stamp of using HTTPS versus just HTTP. So I'm going to hit refresh here. Wait for a minute. I'm going to wait for this to come through. Once it does, we'll continue this video. Alright guys, I'm back after a short break. We have this email here. It took us about a couple of minutes to get the email. So here's that email I was talking about, DCV, Domain Control Validation. You're going to have a link in here. It says, to permit the issuance of the certificate, please click here. So we're doing all these steps to get the little HTTPS so that we can say that our website is secure. And that's important because when you go to a website, Google will usually tell you, hey, this website is not secure. Are you sure you want to proceed? And at that point, hold on one sec, the sun is right in my eye. Okay, much better. So at that point, most users are going to bounce. They're going to be like, I don't want to go to this website if Google is telling me it's not secure. So I'm going to click here. It's going to open up in a new tab, and now I have to copy and paste this code in there and hit next. It says you have entered the correct code. Congratulations, your certificate will now be issued. I'm going to go ahead and close this, go back to my webmail, go back to inbox, and now essentially the HTTPS has been granted to us. We just wait for that email. While we wait for that email, we don't have all day here. I'm not going to sit and make you wait. And I hope you're listening to this at 2 times speed, because I'm really slow when it comes to just listening to this on your regular speed. So whichever controller you're using, make sure you speed it up to 2x. Trust me, you'd be able to understand me. Now we're going to go back into WordPress. So let's see what we have done so far. If I go back to my Word doc here, we have installed WordPress. We have created an email account through cPanel. Now the next step is to install a theme and a plugin. Now I'm not going to install a lot of plugins for you, and also not going to get into designing your pages using themes. That video is coming up. Today I just want to show you how to install a theme, how to install a plugin, how to create a page, say a landing page, but not how to design it. So I'm also going to add that, how to create a landing page and change the URL structure, if I can spell structure. Alright, and that's where we're going to end. So let's get at it. Now first thing is, just like when you buy your Android or Apple phone, it comes with some bloatware. WordPress also comes with bloatware, which is pre-installed plugins. First thing you want to do, I find Namecheap hosting to be very good, as in they don't install a bunch of shit on here. Other hosting companies usually auto install 7 to 8 different plugins. So first thing you want to do is deactivate these plugins and delete them. Garbage, get rid of them. So what you do is check this box. These are the only 2 plugins you have right now. I'm going to click on bulk options and deactivate them. No, not update them. Deactivate them. Now these are deactivated because you'll see it says the activate button next to them. Then I'm going to check them again and delete them. And this is not going to screw up your WordPress. It's not going to screw up your website. Trust me. Done. Blank slate. We have 0 plugins installed. Let's go back to my webmail here. So here you can see the positive SSL has been issued. We are good to go now. Now I'm going to show you how to make your website from HTTP to HTTPS. What I'm going to do is go to a website called SSL Checker. It's sslshopper.com. So I can put in here blogging for Benjis, hit the check SSL button, and you will see that right now it's showing that I don't have an SSL. I think there might be another website that I'm thinking of. Actually, it's this one, SSL Test. It's sslllabs.com. So let's go and put in our domain name, bloggingforbenjis.com, hit submit. Now this usually checks and lets you know if you have a valid SSL certificate. Right now it's saying there's a certificate name mismatch, which is okay. We're going to fix that later. So the first plugin we're going to install is to make our HTTP certificate appear, and you're going to go click on add new. Sun is my eye again, and here you're going to search for simple, and I think it's called real simple SSL. Really simple SSL. We're going to install this. So you're going to click on install now, and one plugin has been installed. Congrats. So I'm going to go to my installed plugins, click on activate, and this will bring you to this page right here where it says detected possible certificate issues. Do you want to reload over HTTPS? I'm going to say yes, please reload over HTTPS. Before I do that, I'm going to copy my login URL, paste it right here in case something happens, I can go back to that URL. So click on reload over HTTPS. You're going to see your connection is not secure. Click on advanced, click add exception. This is again in Firefox. In Google Chrome you can usually just say proceed. So now you're brought into your login screen again, and I believe this is my password, and I bounce between a Mac and a Windows, which is hard because the Control-C, Control-V always messes me up. So simple. Now it says okay, we have found the certificate, we are ready to migrate it, go ahead and activate SSL. You're going to click on that, and boom, now we're done. If I pull this page down, you will see it says HTTPS instead of HTTP. So that were some involved steps, but again steps that were necessary to get our HTTP certificate installed. So I'm going to put this in here again, and I let this site do its thing. We're going to go back in here, and I'm going to install a couple of more plugins that are really important to make sure your website is running smoothly. We're going to install one for SEO. We're going to install one to speed up your website, and then we're going to also go through installing a theme. So I'm going to go to plugins. The one that is really good to install for SEO that I like, and everyone has their own preferences, is Yoast. And if you prefer a different one, let me know which one you like. I'll try to use that. I don't rank on any page one of Google by any means, so if you know a better one, please suggest it to me. And then the next one we're going to install is Fastest. I think it's called Fastest W3 Cache. So that's a caching plugin, WP Fastest Cache. And what a caching plugin does is it speeds up your website. It loads it faster because it uses what is called a CDN, a content delivery network, and a bunch of other things that I don't understand, and tries to render your website to load faster. Let's go back here quick. This is still showing certificate name mismatch. It's fine. We know we have a HTTPS now, not an HTTP, so we're good. Now I'm going to go to my installed plugins, and then I want to show you what happens to the settings part on some of these plugins. So if I click on activate, so for real simple SSL, I can simply go to settings right here. If I go to plugin, go to install plugins, you see there's a settings here. But for some plugins, they get their own special tab on the left side here, and then you can access their settings from there. For example, Yoast has its own tab. So if I click on Why SEO, you will be taken into a whole different settings area for your Yoast SEO. And it recognizes you're doing a first-time SEO configuration. I usually just go with the configuration wizard. If you are not familiar with some of the advanced stuff, just go with the wizard. So first it's asking you, is my site live or is it a staging environment? I'm going to say it's live, ready to be indexed. What is the site? It's a blog. I'm going to hit next. The site is represented by the person. I'm actually going to say it's a company, and the company name is also blogging for Benjis. And I don't have any of these URLs. If you do, you can go ahead and put them in there. A good tip that I want to share with you, whenever you're creating a new asset, a website, and you want to check whether it's available across all different channels, what you can do is check out this website. It's pretty cool. It's called Knowem, Knowem. And here you can just plug in the domain name that you're trying to buy, blogging for Benjis, and then it's going to check across all these different platforms and tell you which ones are available. And the most notable ones that you probably care about is Facebook, Twitter, maybe Instagram, and then maybe LinkedIn. So it's saying Facebook is available, Insta is available, where else? YouTube is available, that's great, and Twitter, it's too long for Twitter, and WordPress, it just says error. So here you can check this before you go ahead and actually purchase a domain name, always a good thing to do. I'm going to X out of here. So we're going to click next here. Search engine visibilities, would you like to show posts and pages in search results? I'm going to say yes for posts and no for pages. So what's the difference? A post is a blog post and a page is a landing page in the simplest of terms. Does or will your site have multiple authors? I'm going to say yes. Google Search Console, I'm not going to get into the details here. We're going to do this maybe later. So I'm going to skip this. Say next. How do you want your website name title separator? So this is something when people search on Google for something, how to blog. I'm going to search on Google how to blog. You will see the title separator right here. It's the hyphens, and that's what Yoast is asking us. Do you want these hyphens, or do you want it to be separated by something else? The hyphen is an industry standard, so I'm going to leave it as is. And lastly, do I want to sign up for a newsletter? Nope, I don't want to do that. Next. And then you might also like some of these other options. Nope, not interested, and we're done. So Yoast, we just went through their installation wizard. We're good to go. And then the last plugin I want to activate is the caching plugin, which is WP fastest cache. So I'm going to hit activate, and now you see there's a menu here for that. And you can go through this menu, and usually I only mess with this first page here. I'm going to enable the cache system. I'm going to enable cache for all sites automatically. So homepage, categories, pages, posts, tags, and attachments. And I'm going to say, okay, don't show the cached version to login users. That's fine. And if you want to know what all this means, you should be able to Google it. I'm not going to go into the details. I just want to fly through this to show you the next step and hit submit. So here we have tried to kind of speed up our website. We'll see how it really works. The next thing I want to touch on is, so we did plugins. I'm going to cross that off. Now we're going to install a theme. So I'm going to go to appearance, themes, and this is where you will be able to install your own theme. WordPress comes standard with these three themes. There's 2019, 2017, 2016. So first thing I do is I go to theme details and I click delete. Again, this is part of the bloatware that we're trying to get rid of. This one is currently active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for, I'm going to add a new theme. When you click on add new, you can either upload a theme from your computer if you have a zip file of a theme that you know about. I usually use all Thrive products, and I'm not installed a theme that's not a Thrive theme, but I can show you how to install any of these themes because it's really easy. So what I'm going to do is best free WordPress themes, search that. 40 of the best free themes 2019. First one is Sydney for freelancers, agencies, and companies. Let's go and search for that. Oops. Spell check. So here it is. Let's look at the preview, see what this looks like. I don't like it. I mean, it looks pretty basic, right? So let's see what's the next one. Flash. I think I had read this article from Hostinger for 40 of the best WordPress themes. Some are free, some you have to pay for. Of course, the paid themes are going to have better features than the free ones. Sydney looks to be quite talked about, so let's actually go ahead and install that. What's number 2? And Flash 2. I'm going to go with Flash. Again, if you're a Thrive user, you use Thrive products, they're great. I'm going to start doing some more videos on them. For now, we're going to stick to installing the theme. So we have installed it. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate it. And once you activate that theme, the other one automatically deactivates, which was 2019. So I'm going to click on theme details and delete this. Now at this point, what you would do is you will go in and customize your theme. So you can click on customize. I'm not going to dwell any time into customization because themes in itself is its own other beast. It's its own topic. Theme is usually used for your blog, so your posts, and for pages you usually use a landing page builder. So I'm not going to go into too much details about this theme right now. What I want to do is I'm going to go back and help you with one of my biggest pet peeves and the last topic that we're going to cover, which is URLs. So first, let me show you how to create a blog post and how to create a blog, a landing page, and how to change your WordPress settings so you can point your home page to whatever you want, and then I'll fix the URL structure. So first, you'll see on the left side here, there's pages and there's posts. Big difference is a post is a blog post where you're writing long form articles about the subject matter expert that you are talking about, and pages is a landing page where it's very succinct, it's very short, and usually there's a call to action. Maybe you're giving away a lead magnet that will live on your landing page. So I'm going to go to pages and add a new page. If you click on all pages, you could go from there too. These are the two default out of the box pages that WordPress comes with. I'm going to select this one, click on trash. And you can also get rid of some of these messages here. It's just annoying. It's selling stuff to you. You don't need that. So I actually clicked on pages, not posts. So here's pages. I'm going to now add a new page. So I'm going to say add new. And I'm going to say this is going to be 21 tips to blog. So 21 blogging tips for 2019. I just want to create a page title where I want to redirect my users and have them be able to download something. So again, this is this is called Gutenberg, which is WordPress 5.0. I don't really like it. I don't know much how they have messed up the UI so much from the first one. So the title of your page is going to be your URL. So we said I'm going to call it 21 blogging tips for 2019. So once you do that, what you can do is hit publish, or you can just not hit publish and save draft if you want to continue working on it. I usually like to hit publish and still continue working on it because no one knows this URL yet. So I'm going to hit publish, and now this site is published. So if I click on view page, there's not much there. I'm going to open it on a new tab. I'm going to go to this tab, and here's my page. And you can see it says 21 blogging tips for 2019 is my URL. Now this is the URL structure I want, and I love this URL structure. It's simple. It's my blog name, so my .com, and then my name of my page or my post. So I'm going to create a post too. I'm going to go to all posts. You'll see on posts you have categories and tags, and that's more akin to blogging versus landing pages. So I'm going to add a new post here, and this I'm going to title how to blog. Actually, I'm going to title this exactly what our video said, is how to host a WordPress website for $26.49. Now I don't want to put the $sign in there, and you want to keep your WordPress title. Actually, I'll leave the $sign in there. And you want to keep your WordPress title 5 to 6 words, because after that there's some things that maybe the Google algorithm or the Google search engine doesn't really care too much about your title after first 5 to 6 words, and those can be your keywords that maybe you're trying to rank on page 1 and you're using the keywords in your title, which is always best practice. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and down below here Yoast shows you how this is going to show up in Google searches, and it says how to host a WordPress site for $26 and then blogging for Benjis. So I'm going to again hit publish, and now this is going to be my blog post title, and here you can write the kind of like the meat and potatoes and the content of the blog down here. If you don't like this search snippet, what you can do is you can simply click on it and get rid of the site title, and maybe change that to in 2019. So see how this is going to look so much better in Google. When someone sees 2019, they know, okay, this post is written in 2019 and I want to go click on it. Once you do that, I think there's this update button in the top right corner. You click that, and that's going to update on the Yoast part what we just did. So again, you can also edit the snippet here. The snippet is what shows once you start typing your blog. We're not going to get into that. The last thing I want to show you is how to change your URL structure. So for that, what you want to do is you want to play around with WordPress, play around with these settings. So you're going to click on settings here. There's a bunch of settings you can play with. The SSL settings is because we are using the SSL really simple SSL plugin. That's why you see the SSL setting. If you don't see it, don't be afraid. That's only because you're not using that plugin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on permalinks. This is where you can change your link structure. Now for posts, it defaults to day and time, and I just like it to be simple, which is the post name. So let me show you what that means. If I go open this all posts in a new tab, and I drag this down here, so you can see the URL bar. If I click on view in front of this one, you're going to see that the post title is 2019, then today's date, and then how to blah blah blah. Now that's all good because it is 2019, but what happens when it's 2020 and beyond? This search result is not going to show up in Google. It's not going to be relevant because the Google search engine, their crawlers can see the date of in your URL structure, and they're not going to show you on page 1. So you want to change that to just just the post name. So, and then it's simply going to say the blog name and then the post name, just like we did for our pages. And I'm going to hit save changes. Now if I go back to that tab here, where is it? Right here, and refresh this. So just hit the refresh button here. It didn't work. So what I need to do now is go to posts, go in and edit this post, and then click on update, and then the URL structure is going to come into play. So I just hit update. That means the site was updated, and that's good for anytime you do a update to your website. Just hit the update button. Now if I drag this down here to show you the URL, you'll see that the date format is gone, and boom, it says the blog name and then the post name, and that is how you do it. I want to leave off with just one quick final tip. Consider this a bonus, and that's going to be a plugin that you're going to love. It's called WPS Hide, something like that. I never remember their full names, but if I just say WPS Hide, it's WPS Hide login. You're going to install this, and I'll tell you right now what this does. It's awesome. So right now I have my admin URL as bloggingforbenjis.com/wp/admin, and that's again the most common URL structure in the world. That's how hackers hack you. This will let you change that so you can call it whatever. So I've activated it. I'm in the plugin area. What you're going to do is go to settings. I would suggest do this after activating your SSL certificate, because otherwise your SSL certificate is going to try to reload the website, and when that real simple SSL plugin reloads the website, it reloads it on HTTPS your domain name /wp-admin or WP login, whatever. So make sure you do this after you have activated your SSL certificate, not before. So here's the login URL. Now I can just call this whatever, and that's going to be my administrative login. So now if a wise hacker tries to go to this URL, let's go back here, go in incognito and paste that URL and hit enter. They're going to get the 404 page, which is page not found, which is because they don't know how the heck to log in now, because I have changed the regular wp-login.php to my own using that free plugin. So that is it for today. Thank you again so much for sticking around. I hope you were watching this at 2x speed. If not, thank you for sitting through this laborious long video. And I will see you later. Again, coursecreatorhandbook.com/Namecheap, so you can get your hosting, your domain name, and your secure certificate and your email account for $26.49. This is Amit signing off. Talk to you later.